Grace, peace, blessings to everyone. Grace, peace, and blessings. I'm on here. I'm on here. I pray everybody doing well. I wanted to share this story. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. I hope y'all ready, man. This book is going to be awesome, man. It's going to be mind blowing. I was reading it today. The book is going to be mind blowing. C.A.R.L, a South Side Chicago story. I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it. All praise is due to the Father. I'm happy about it. I pray everybody is doing well. I'm gonna get on here and just speak my piece. I know people will catch it a little later. I pray it bless someone, and I just want to tell y'all the journey of me meeting Jesus Christ, where everything changed for me. 11/32/38. I never forget. That was my DOC number. 11/32/38. Prior to going to the penitentiary, I was in and out of jail, in and out of counties, a lot in my life. Even since I was a kid, to my teenage years, to my young adult years, I was always, in and out of county jails, and made a lot of mistakes. I'm not ashamed. I'm thankful and grateful that I'm here today. You know, sharing my stories, sharing my truth. And that's what I'm here to do. This is not my forte, getting in front of the camera, but this is something that I must do. It's like a mission. It's a mission that I got to do this. So I'm gonna go and get it started. You know, um, you ever reach that point where you at your lowest of your low? You know what I'm saying? You at the lowest state of your life, and that's sitting in a jail cell. That's sitting in the penitentiary, and you can't go nowhere. You caged like an animal. So that was one of the lowest points of my life ever. I've been in the jungle. I've been in the jungle, you know, been in the jungle, but that was one of the lowest points. And I'm gonna get into the story. I met Jesus when I was locked up in the pen. And it was at a point where before I give y'all the story, I got to give y'all the backstory. You know, all my life I wanted support from my mother and father. Like out of two people that I wanted support from was my mother and my father. Um, with the situation, they never had a relationship, but they talk here and there, but I never had that father, mother, support. I never had that. So I get into the story to lead to the point when I was in the penitentiary, what made me break. You know, I broke in prison. I broke. Like I was down. I was ready for anything. You know what I'm saying? It was like this is my last day on earth right here. It's something that I did that, you know what I'm saying, that I'm not proud of. I even got into a fist fight in the pen due to what I'm about to tell you guys, you know. But I broke in a penitentiary, and I'm gonna give you the backstory why I broke. You know, I moved around a lot as a kid, and I was at this particular time I was living with my biological father in California. Um, I had some good times up there as well in Alameda, California. Um, I was on a football team, loving to play sports. That was my first time playing sports, football team. I was on a basketball team. We won. You know what I'm saying? The championship in middle school, we won the championship. I scored 8 points. I was so happy about that, so proud. But I always wanted my mother and my father support as a child. And this gonna be the tale of the story if y'all can comprehend where I'm coming from. So I graduated 8th grade in Chipman Middle School in Alameda, California in 1991. And it was graduation day, and my mother wasn't there, you know. My biological father was there, his wife was there. And me and his wife didn't have the best relationship because, she was married to him, and he had an outside child. So, it wasn't that motherly love. We didn't have that relationship. It was real, a lot of confusion there. A lot of hurt and pain behind it as well. But I graduated 8th grade high school and my mother wasn't there. I was kind of sad, like, this is something that I achieved. Like, I didn't think I was going to achieve that, living in Chicago, because in Chicago, I ditched school all the time. I was never in school. Like, we used to go to Lake Michigan, go to the store one stop and get some, what I'm saying, smoke a joint, and, what I'm saying, get us a 40 ounce and, go chill on the beach. I never was going to school when I was in Chicago at the end time, 12, 13 years old. I was never going to school. But when I moved to California, I graduated high school. I'm sorry, I'm jumping the ship. I graduated middle school. So I graduated middle school and my mother wasn't there. I was very disappointed about that, very sad about it. But it was all good, Hey, my life, you know what I'm saying? It got normal without, my biological father and my mother. It got normal. It was normal that, I didn't have their full support because, they was living their lives. You know what I'm saying? They had their own lives. And, it is what it is. So I'm gonna jump up a little bit. So in California, I graduated 8th grade, and my mother wasn't there. My biological father was there. So years later, and that was 1991, and I moved back to Chicago. But after my grandmama passed, I moved to New Albany, Mississippi with my Uncle Thomas and my Auntie Deborah. I moved there, and I was there for my senior year of high school. So, I played football there. All my partners, Chris, Barry, Eric King, man, we was the truth. We was the defense. We had Sean High as the quarterback. We had a nice little squad. We had a good thing going on. Even playing football, never get to see my mama in them stands. Like, I never see my, I didn't have that support. I'm talking about that support. Like, I never had that. You know, I ain't had that support. So I played football, and we had a good year. I got a lot of little plaques and trophies that year and everything. Football was looking promising. I had a partial scholarship to a junior college, Northeast Community College, but I didn't even go. I didn't even go. My mind wasn't. I wasn't never the school type, so I never went to school. Like, I wasn't going no college. Even though they were trying to give me a football scholarship, I just didn't go. My mind wasn't there. But it comes to graduation, senior graduation. Graduated from New Albany High School in Mississippi, New Albany, Mississippi, and graduation. You know, and It's my 12th grade. And all through the years, you just never had that support. You just never had that support. And graduation came, and it was a big graduation class. And my mother or my father wasn't there for that. My auntie Deborah was, I believe my cousin Man was, my cousin Tanika was, I believe my cousin Andrea. I'm not for sure, but I know they was there at the graduation because I never forget. You never forget some key moments in your life. Some things you just never forget. So, even at high school, I graduated and my father and mother, they weren't there. Everybody was hugging and getting flowers and graduating and kissing their kids. I didn't get that. I didn't get that part. So, it was cool. It was cool. It was okay. And then come 1996, I'm gonna jump up a little bit. I had my first biological son, um, my son Sean, and I made a promise like when I had kids, I'ma always support them. I'ma always be there no matter what. I'ma be there. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. Because I know how it made me feel like when you don't have that support. You don't have that support. And believe me, I love my mother to death. I think that she's an awesome woman, but you know, we all fall victim. We all fall weak to something. You know, that's just the way of the world. A lot of people make mistakes that we would never understand, you know, but it's all good. I love my mother to death. She a real cool person. I think we still got room for healing. I think it's a lot of things that, you know what I'm saying, that it's a lot of things out there, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm releasing my book because, I want to get my truth out there, and I want to inspire other people. I want to people to come out, you know what I'm saying? And like, I hope I inspire somebody, like, like, man, what we go through, it's a testimony. I'm not saying these things to put my mother down. I'm not saying these things to put my biological father down. I'm just saying these things because, you know, this is what I've been through. This is my life. This is, I was hurt behind it, so I wanted to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's a million stories out there that need to be told, but this is a very important story because this is the story that changed my life and changed my life forever. So I graduated high school in 95. 95, I graduated high school. And I didn't have the support of my mom, my biological father. And I always thought of Boo Boo because Boo Boo was like my father. If I can think of anybody that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, used to sit down and do homework with me. Used to take me, hold my hand, and take me to, we was just we was scratching and surviving. You know what I'm saying? Take me downtown to Jewtown and get me some cheap shoes and some clothes so I can have some for, for school. Always on my, I always love him for the charitable spirit, taking me in as his son, and because he didn't have children, so to have his support, he was gone. He died like my grandmother, the strongest person in my life, gone. So, you know, two main people in my life was my grandmother and my mother, So it was always hurt when I didn't see my mother there, even at my high school graduation. So, as time passed and when you think about things, you you start doing things to cover up how you feel. So this is why I'm talking about it because I always use drugs, I always use sexual sins, you know what I'm saying, being a whoremonger or anything out there just to get the pain out, just for somebody to, you know what I'm saying, shooting, you know what I'm saying, shooting was like, man, it was like, and I'm not glorifying this, but even like, when you got so much rage and pain inside of you, even shooting, like, you know what I'm saying, it release, you want somebody to feel, what you feel, somebody to feel the pain like you feel the pain. Misery loves company, hurt people. That's true. That's true. And I was very hurt, very bitter, very mean, very hateful. You know what I'm saying? I can admit them things because it was poured inside of me. Because, when you don't have the core support of a mother and a father, you don't have that support. You're out here alone, and that's why I believe I'm just a loner. I don't have brothers and sisters, anything like that. I got sisters on my biological father's side, but we're not that close. You know what I'm saying? Because you know I just keep people at a bay, man, because I always been alone. So and the the story that I'm telling you guys now is the reason, one of the reasons that I'm telling this story is why I'm alone. Why I'm a loner. You know what I'm saying? Because I never had the support for my mom and my father. Looking at graduation, like, and seeing everybody else, even my girlfriend was there, and her mother and father was there, and I was like, wow, and I'm like, I ain't had it when I graduated. My auntie gave me a hug, my auntie Deborah, but it wasn't my mother, and and she embraced me, threw me a couple dollars and everything, you know. I love her for that, always will. And my mother wasn't there. I can look out in the crowd, my mother and father not there. So, anger builds up. So I had my son, Marquise Deshaun Cameron, my love, my heart, my son. He's 25 today. And I had him. I said, never, I would never, I would never, I'll always support my son. And I did. And I did. I always will support my son. Always. That was my attitude. And he was born in 96. Always was there. Always been in his life, always been a part, because the pain that I felt inside, not having the support, not having that concrete foundation laid for you. I'm gonna make sure he have me. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna die for him. I'm gonna do anything. I'm gonna ride for him, no matter what. I got this kid. This kid is mine, and I got him because that's what I wanted, for somebody to have me like that. You know, my mother and father. I said I wanted them to have me like that. But like I say, my mama did her very best. Very kind woman. She's very strong. But I was hurt. And it made me a great father. I could say that. I can say that. But I'm gonna get back to the story. So, like I was saying earlier, my eighth grade graduation, my mom wasn't there. My biological father was. I was in California. In high school, I was in Mississippi. I moved around a lot, and when y'all read the book, y'all will see like, wow, this kid really moved around. Yeah, we never had the stability. I was always moving around. So I'm in Mississippi. I graduated there and had my son, Sean, always been in his life, until I went to the penitentiary. So I'm gonna get to the part where I was on the run. I was this is about in 2000, year 2000, 2001. I was out there just, doing what I was doing. I was in Indianapolis, selling cocaine, ounces of cocaine, moving that dope. And I'm going to say it like this. I'm not bragging about it, and I'm going to give y'all the story behind it. I'm not bragging about selling my people poison. You know what I'm saying? I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about selling my people poison and being, a part of the problem in the hood and not the solution, not a leader. I look back and say I really done some foolish things. I really have. But, it's all good because, I knew that, you know, some had me, covered me, what I'm saying? While I was out there, some had their hand on me. I'm not with the religions. I'm not with, what I'm saying? People had a right to believe what they want to believe, but I believe that you got to have a relationship with God. I believe you have to have a relationship with Jesus. I believe you got to have a relationship with the Holy Spirit. And I don't think you can put a title on that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can put a church on that, camp or a religion or anything on that. I don't think you can, the relationship is what you have. And I'm going to tell y'all why I say what I say about having a relationship with God. Now, I'm in Indianapolis now. I'm in Indianapolis. I moved around a lot. I'm in Indianapolis now. Actually, I'm on a run. I'm on a run from Memphis, Tennessee, because they had me in the most wanted Memphis paper in Memphis, Tennessee. So I left Memphis, Tennessee, and moved to Indianapolis. I was like, I ain't going to court. It was a little situation. Me and my partners was in, and things like that. It was, we were dealing, a lot of marijuana then. Back there in Mississippi, we were dealing a lot of marijuana. So we got caught up or whatever. So I went on a run. So I'm on a run. So I went to Naptown. My mother was in Nap. She moved from Chicago to Indianapolis. This is where we, came back together after all them years. Like, I think I was around 24 or something like that, 23 or 24 when I moved to Indianapolis, because I wasn't going to court in Memphis, Tennessee. They're going to have to come get me. That's what my mindset was. And they showed pulled one. But now I'm in Indianapolis, and down there, trying to do the right thing, trying to get a job, trying to do the right thing. But I made a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of foolish things. I was stealing, going in the store, stealing, you know what I'm saying? Stealing out the stores, take my son in there and put shoes on his feet and walk out the store. And, I was just doing all that crazy stuff. So, I was going, getting caught up and stuff like that. And I was going in and out of the county and things like that. But so I was on the run from Tennessee. And then in Indianapolis, I was on probation. I got on probation for stealing, selling cocaine and tempters and all this other stuff. And so I got caught up with that. So, you know, they let me out. They OR'd me. Memphis didn't even come down and get me. They knew I had a hole, but they didn't come down and get me. So they OR'd me out there and then said, you got a probation officer. You got to come and report to your probation officer. I ain't doing that. I ain't do none of that. I ain't going to no probation officer, no nothing. That's just what my mindset was then. So we was, I ain't going to say their name, but we was on the east side. We had a crib on the east side. And I was and one of my partners was there. He just got there. So what the whole thing was this guy we knew, we had a party. We had a party at the crib on the east side, and he left his DJ equipment, but I believe he owed somebody some money. So we were like, you ain't getting your DJ equipment back. You ain't getting nothing back. You ain't getting your DJ equipment. So, he called the law. And then he gave the police my name. Oh, they said, we looking for him. So they were like, oh, we looking for him. So, he gave them the address and everything where I'm at, because he want his DJ equipment. So the police just camping out. I'm in that sleep. I'm in my boxers and everything. I'm in that sleep. I'm in the house by myself, knocked out. But the detectives, they was just sitting across the street. They already knew. So my partner came in there. He came in there that morning, and he laid down on the couch. I'm back there asleep in the bed. So he laid down on the couch and knocked on the law knocked on the door. They knocked on the door, and when they opened the door, they said, "Is Carl Duckworth here?" He was like, "Nah." He said, "Well, we got a search warrant." He was like, "Nah, he ain't here." Automatically. So they got a search warrant. They come up in there. I'm in their sleep. I'm in my boxers. They like, hey, they come through there with the flashlights in my face and everything. So there it is. They got me. And this time I ain't getting out. Nope, you ain't getting out this time. So they sent me up the road. Actually, I was in a Plainfield Penitentiary where Mike Tyson was. was. Mike Tyson was there prior. When he went for that girl say she raped him, went to his room the late night and said he raped her or something like that, and said he raped her, but he was in that prison as well. So they was like, when I got there, they were like, yeah, Mike Tyson, bought all the weights here and everything like that. So I'm in a pen now. Now I'm in a pen now. It's a whole different ball game. It's different. You ain't going home. You know what I'm saying? You can't move like you move. Now your mind has to adapt to like being a cage animal. I'm talking about like this, like my porch right here. This is how big the cell was. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, wow, now my mind going crazy. And I got to get my mind right. Now I'm sitting down. Now I got to listen. Now I got to think about all the wrong that I've done. Now I got to think about my life. Now I got to think about what I want to do with my life. Now I got to, either I'm a sink or swim. I got to make choices now. Now when you sitting down and you can't move like you want to move, you can't hit the streets like you want to hit the streets, you can't do the things that you want to do. Now I'm in this jail cell. Man, I'm in there fighting. I fought my roommate. We just get an attitude for nothing because you got us caged up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in there fighting and, everything. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. I think that was one of the last real fights that I had. I was in a pen. But this is what broke me. I'm going to go and get to the point, the punchline. I did some time. They had us in RDC at first, and we was locked down 23 hours a day. We didn't get to come out but to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I was there like 2 months, locked up 23 hours a day. So everything that I done prior, my life, I got a chance to think about it, everything. I got a chance to think about everything. And the one thing where I felt like a failure was my son is still out there, and I'm in here. So, mail call 113238. That was my DLC number. Duck, word. I get this big package. And I open it right there. Everybody be so happy to get mail. So I'm sitting at the table, open my mail. And when I opened my mail, I saw the name on it. It was Sean Mama sending me something. And, I thought it was some pictures or something like that. But it was something that really changed my life, my whole way of thinking and everything. The reason why I'm doing this video. I open it up. And guess what? My son, Sean, graduated. Graduated from preschool. So the whole story, me telling y'all this, like how I'm feeling about my mother in 8th grade. And I go to high school. I don't have my biological father or mother. I don't even have a support, not even to see my grandmother. And this something I was so pissed. Like I never, I always be there for my son. And I open it up. And he had the cap and gown on. I believe it was the Lord getting my attention. See, I said you will always be there. But through my selfishness, through my greed, through all my wrongdoing, the Lord put it right in my face. You remember what you said? Now I open that mail, and it's my son graduating with the cap and gown. I'm in the pod and just broke down. Tears. You don't supposed to cry when you're in a pen. You don't supposed to show no weakness when you're in a pen. Y'all know how it go. I was broken. I felt like this was it. This was like the mirror. I had to look myself in the mirror like, wow. I said I will always be there for my son, no matter what. Everything that I did when he was born to that point, like I give my life for this kid. Like I'm gonna be there, and I wasn't there for that, and it broke me. We ain't even talking about his 8th grade graduation. We ain't talking about his 12th grade graduation. But just to see that picture, God got my attention. God got my attention right there. I broke down, brothers and sisters. I broke down. That was the lowest. My heart left my body. Like, it was just like I was, my soul was like frozen. I'm in a penitentiary. I look at a field. I got a little window that I can look at night, and I don't see nothing but bars and bar wire. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see nothing. My son out there, and he's just graduated from preschool, and everything that I told you guys to this point, I missed it, and God got my attention. I broke down in a pen. I broke down in a pen, and I was like, when I was in the pen, everybody called me Shy Town. It was always respect, always playing ball, pool. Had my partners in there, little Wick, and you know what I'm saying. He was a little midget, but that was my dog. You know what I'm saying, and all my partners in there. I saw some weird, crazy things. You know what I'm saying, like when I was in a pen, but you know that moment right there, somebody could have shot me and it felt better. If they would have shot me in my dome, I'd have felt better than how I felt at that moment. I was crushed. I was crushed. So I broke down crying. I'm furious, mad, ready to fight. I was finna fight this dude from Detroit. I called him gay because he was undercover. I wanted to fight. I wanted to tear something up. That's what I want. I was enraged. I was ready to tear somebody's face. I was ready to take a hit. I had the devil on me, man. I had demons on. I was fighting them demons, boy. I'm telling you, I allowed, but God got my attention. He got my attention, and I was in my cell crying, like sitting on my bed. I had the bottom bunk sitting on the bed, tears flowing. I just got his picture, looking at his picture. Looking at, I couldn't do nothing. I'm caged up. I can't do nothing. Everything I thought about, my 8th grade graduation, my high school graduation, and then I got the picture while I'm in the penitentiary. All the wrong that I have done has caught up with me. And even my word that I spoke in the atmosphere, that I made a promise and I failed on that promise, I was crushed. It was symbolic to me. So I'm in that cell crying, mean, and I heard some say, "You're not in control," and I am. I heard some say, "You're not in control." I am. So I look up. My bunkie wasn't even in there because he was giving me a little bit of space because he see I was furious. So I heard some say, "You're not in control." I am. And I looked up. Nobody wasn't there. I looked at the window. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was going crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell is going on? I don't know if these demons, I don't know what it is. I'm in control. And I tell you, like, old school from upstairs, this real cool cat, old school. He never talked much. He went to church every Sunday. He tended to his own business. You know what I'm saying? I liked his style. I'm in there crying and I'm not in control. One time in your life, you're not in control. That's what I'm hearing because I always been in control of my life. I always did what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Once I got a certain age, you know what I'm saying? I called my shot. That's what my friends say. They used to always say, "No, you ain't in control of us." That's why we used to always fight because I always try to take charge of control. Because I always had to. You know what I'm saying? I always had to. I always had to make choices and decisions for myself. So, old school knock on the door. Mind if I come in? I just looked at him and I shook my head. I couldn't even talk because tears was running. I'm furious. Now that man sat there and talked to me. He ain't say much. You just letting me know whatever you going through it, young brother. I hope you learn from it, and I hope you get out here, and I hope you do the things that you need to do for your son. That's what he told. And he said, "Hey, I'm going to church tomorrow. You want to go?" I looked at him because I just heard a voice. I just heard a voice say, "You ain't in control. I'm in control. I am. You're not in control. I am." He said, before he left my room, he said, "You want to go to church with me in the morning?" I looked at him, old school, don't talk to nobody. He did so much time. I believe he was in there for stabbing somebody. But he ain't talk. He ain't say nothing. But when he saw how I was enraged, that man came in there with some kind words, and he calmed my spirit. That's why I say this wasn't nothing but Jesus himself that came in my cell. I ain't talking about the dude. I'm talking about how it all played out. It was like, oh my God, like I fighting so many demons and so many times. You in prison, you cage, there's nothing you can do. You can't send money, you can't even feed yourself. You hoping somebody send you some commissary, and you got a child out there that depends on you, that had you. And I had to remember, I was in that same state. I had to fend for myself. I had to take care of myself. You know, I didn't have the support of my father. I didn't have my biological father. I didn't have the support. My mama was, she had her own addictions going on. She had her own life going on. She was going to jail. She was up there, in Chicago, hit a man with a hammer, fighting her all the time because she had issues with addiction. So I ain't had that support. So I'm looking at my situation, looking at like, wow, I got to think about all this. I know people that been to the penitentiary understand when your freedom gets snatched and it's nothing that you can do. And then you get that stranger. That's why the Lord say, watch how you entertain strangers. It might be an angel among you. That guy walked in my cell, said little kind words. It felt like, things was leaving my body. I felt like a little calm. I felt eased, you know. And he was like, you come to church. And I looked at him. I ain't been no church in my adulthood like that. I might go to a funeral, but as far as going to a church, I'm not going no church. I don't live that life. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, why I'm in the ghetto? Why we suffering? Why we got to run the cables from the next door neighbor house to have life? Why we can't get a decent job? Why you know what I'm saying? That's my mindset was. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely wasn't no church. You know what I'm saying? So I got up the next day. He was right there waiting on me. We was in beige khaki, so he was creased up. I was wrinkled. He was creased up, and he took me to church in a pen. So when I got there, man, they was dealing drugs in there. I was like, well, see, this one on. I'm in a pen, so everybody switching things, and I'm talking about, man, everything going on. So, now, after I got the mindset, like, wow, I started thinking I'm getting a conscience now of right and wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you so used to doing wrong, you know what I'm saying? You under the devil is your God. You know what I'm saying? The devil, your God. You got to fight that. The devil's your God. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't got to do too much with me. I was on his side. Yeah, I used to be one of the devil. Yeah, I used to work for the devil. I tell the truth and shame the devil for real. But this was the first time that I had a spiritual awakening in that jail cell. So I didn't get out. when it was time for me to get up out of prison, they had a hold on me in Memphis. So they took me from after I did my time in Plainfield, Indiana. They took me to Kentucky for a couple of weeks. And I went to Kentucky on a farm for a couple of weeks until they expedite me back to Memphis, Tennessee. You know, so my whole journey was different. So now I'm thinking, and then when I'm released, I don't want to go into all of the details I had to go through, but I had to go back to Memphis. They had us on a Blue Goose. You know how you on the bus on that Blue Goose, you chain from you shackled. I'm looking like one of them slaves. You see them slaves? That's how they had us on the bus, for hours, for hours, chained up on the Blue Goose. So we going back to um I was in Kentucky for a couple of weeks and then got to get back on the Blue Goose. We getting all, man, they got gauges all up in the air and everything. It was just like, it's mind boggling. But when I had that spiritual awakening, it was something like just clicked on for me. Like I started thinking, I started changing. And when I got to Memphis, them charges was dropped because I had got a paid lawyer, whatever like that. My partner June, my best friend, he always look out for me. So we got that under control. So I moved back to Naptown. You know what I'm saying? I moved back to Naptown after that. And after that, I moved to Memphis with my partner June. With my partner June. So this is what God did. This is why I'm telling y'all this. Is because when I had that spiritual awakening, and when I got out the pen, when I got done with all that stuff, one of my partners in Naptown said, "See, no, you're gonna make some noise. What the beat be? We going back and selling these quarter ounces. What we doing?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I got a different mindset. I got to get to my son. I got to get to my son." So I just packed the bag. I was living with my mom. I was staying in her basement, and she was living in Hogville in Indiana. So I'm staying in her basement. So I just packed my bag one day and like, "Mom, I'm gone." She said, "You grown." You know what I'm saying? You grow. So, I'm fresh out the pen. I was like, "Oh, this ain't my lifestyle no more. I got to go get my son." So I went to Nashville, caught a ride with my partner, my cousin Mookie, caught a ride with them to Nashville, Tennessee. And my best friend, June, he came from Memphis. He got off work and like, man, I was like, "Look here, man, I ain't got nowhere to go." You know what I'm saying? I'm here in Nashville, with my family. I got a lot of family in Nashville, but I wanted to get closer to my children. You know what I'm saying? I want to get closer to Quintez and Sean. Quintez is Sean's oldest brother, and I raised him since he, came out his mama too. So I my mindset is different now. So like when my partner was like in nap, like, "See, you gonna make some noise and still the same activity going on, people running in and out my mom's crib. I'm getting drunk, toe up, falling down the stairs. I fell down the stairs on like my first day out. I hung with some white boys I ain't even know on my first day out. I hung with some white boys and we got drunk. I'm talking about play over my like, man, I don't know if my first day out or we, but I fell down. No, he fell down the stairs and I fell out. I think I fell out and I was just drunk. It was bad. It was real bad. So I packed my stuff and I went to Nashville. Like I said, my mindset is different now. So I left everything behind. Everybody that owed me in the street, they know that I was gonna come forward. You know what I'm saying? A whole different type of way. But my mindset was like, "Nah, they can have it. I don't want nothing from the streets. I ain't taking nothing with me. I had like $60 to my name. I ain't had nothing." So I went to Nashville. My partner June, he drive trucks. So he was like, he in Memphis. I'm telling him, "Man, look here, man." He said, "Man, I ain't, man, can you come get me, bro? I'm bad out here." You know what I'm saying? Man, that man got off work in Memphis, drove all the way to Nashville, Tennessee, picked me up, and we went back to Memphis, Tennessee, and he moved me in with his family, helped me get a job and everything. The man took me on the weekend. I'm so anxious to see my kids, see Sean. You know, the man drove me all the way to um, Mississippi. You know, we're in Memphis. He drove me to New Albany, Mississippi, which is about an hour away. You know, he drove me down there to see my kids. And when we pulled up, you know, that man slapped $200 in my lap and say, man, buy your kids something. You know what I'm saying? Buy your son something nice. You know what I'm saying? My whole mind was different. My whole mind was different. I had that. I had the right people around me now. You know what I'm saying? You know how when you do bad, you don't want to be around good people. You know what I'm saying? So now I want to be around good people. I want to learn. You know, jail did me some good. That what I just witnessed in pen when I'm not in control, I am. When I heard that voice, you know, once I heard that, and then I had a conscience now of what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my mind was about rescuing my son. So, you know, long story short, I got custody of my son. I got custody. My his mother let me get custody of him. So at the age of 8, he was 8 and I was 28. It was one of the best feelings of my life. We was not in court, but we was at the bank and she writing it out. We wrote it out and we getting to notarize that she's giving me my son. So going through all that, God put in my heart to save my son, just like his son saved us. You know, and you know, you talking about a person that worked for the devil. So it was like, then he gave me my son. I was 27, 28 years old, and I got my son now. So I got my son, and we moved to Jacksonville, Florida. We moved to Jacksonville, Florida. And my son was 8. My son didn't leave me until he was 18. He graduated high school. But we went and got his brother. His brother was 10. We didn't want them to be apart. So we didn't want the brothers to be apart, live apart. So his mama was like, man, you know, if you want him, you know, you can get him too. So I went and got his oldest brother. He was 10. He didn't leave me till he was 19, till he graduated high school. So the more to the story is God is real. God is real. And I tell y'all this story because wow, it still amazes me today, like, you know, what God can do in your life. He can take, he can take you from hell. He can take your mindset. He can take your life and change it in just a snap of a finger. Cause when I heard that voice in my cell, and when that man came in my room minutes later, my mindset, my thinking, everything was changed within that time. I was ready to shoot, kill, steal, get some more time. You know, looking out the window, can't see nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was at a weak, vulnerable moment that I'm ready to tear somebody up because the simple fact is I can't go out there and save my son. And then I get custody of him. And then I get to raise him and his brother because I didn't have that support. I didn't have that support when I come on. So God had prepared me to put that love in my heart for my children. Like your whole journey is to get your son and save your son. Just like you wanted somebody to save you. Just like you wanted somebody to support you. And I was there for his 8th grade graduation. I was there for his brother's 8th grade graduation. I was there. They lived with me. They was with me. I was there for the 12th grade graduation for both of them. They both graduated from Lee High School out of Jacksonville, Florida. I was I was there. I made sure I'd never missed a graduation again in my life. Like I'm there. All praises to the Most High. All praises due to the Most High. You know. So I share this story with y'all. I hope somebody be blessed by it. And that's just part of my story. But I wanted to give y'all that story because that story is true and is real. And God is real. Straight up. From a gangster disciple to God's disciple. I tell people that all the time. Straight up. You know, I was once for Satan. I was one of his top ones. And God changed me in that moment, in that cell, that allowed me to see my son and everything that everything that I wanted and didn't have. He said, if you continue doing what you're doing, you're gonna be dead or in jail, and your son gonna be graduating without you. But God, the hand of redemption, like Daniel in that fire, like Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego within that fire. Daniel in the lion den. You know, it was like, man, I felt like I can wrestle a tiger. I felt like walking. I'm telling you, that feeling that I felt when number Satan and his legions of demons. And then with that voice, and when that guy came in my cell, it changed my life. I raised both of them boys till they graduated high school. All praises due to the Most High. And I had a lot of help on the way because it take a village. So I want to thank you guys for giving me your time. Love to you all. God is real. From a gangster disciple to God's disciple. He answered my prayers, and he's continually answering my prayers. July 8th, I give y'all a story that I wanted to share a long time. And I'm so thankful at this moment in time I can share it with y'all. Because know, I know it's going to help someone. It's going to be the top hood seller. It's going to be the top because real people recognize real people. And we go through real life and real life situations. I can't put on no mask. You know what I'm saying? I can't hide my pain. I got to get it out so I can move forward. So I can let these things out because what I went through is a testimony for someone else to hear it so they can get through. You know? And that's how I feel on this journey. I hope and pray that that touched you guys. I feel good about it because God is good. Um, Much love to everyone. July 8th, C.A.R.L, a Southside Chicago story. I give y'all me. This is a must read. You want to read this. I'm not trying to sell you. This is my work. I ain't gonna sit here and lie and say, I don't want to make no money. I got a wife, I got children, I got one on the way. I got a child on the way. I got a 4-year-old, two 13-year-olds, a 15-year-old. My son 25 now. My other son, Quintez, who I raised, he's 27 now. And I got one on the way. So, I give you me. I give you true stories, and I hope it help you guys. Like it helped me. It helped me. So, July 8th, or you may be able to pre-order earlier. I'm gonna let everybody know. But this is a hell of a story. And nobody but God got me through to this point. I'm 45 years old now. I ain't never thought I'd live to see 45 years old. I honestly didn't. You know? So I am so grateful and so thankful. C.A.R.L, the Southside story, the Chicago Southside story, is a must read. It's real, it's the truth, and it's my story and my testimony. And I want to share it with you all. So I just pray everyone appreciate it and support. You know, it's my work. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Be rewarded for their work. You know, and this is my work. You know, 2 years. All praises due to the Father. 2 years, and we finally here. 2 weeks away. After 2 years, 2 weeks away. So I just want to say good night to all. Continue to believe, continue to have faith, continue to let no one control you but the Most High and His Son. Let's not be people pleasers, but let's be God pleasers. And tell your story. You know, show the world your gifts. Why not? It's a lot going on in the world today. So share your story. Love you all. I'm out. Carl Duckworth. Till next time. Peace and blessings.